Oops. Good morning. Falling down the stairs at Iconshaw.
Look at my ankle though.
No.
Slipped last night when I went to the toilet off a flag.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I was sober. Honest.
Yeah, no, the flags were a bit slippy for our shoes.
Yeah.
It's about 9:15. This is the latest we've started hiking yet. We were trying to outwait the rain again, but I don't think today that works, so we're in full battle gear. I have decided to turn the poncho into a rain jacket because it just doesn't work as a poncho for me. All this having to take your pack off every time you're trying to go in and out of the poncho is like, yeah, it's too much like hard work. So,
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of too much like hard work, I'd better stop this because this is not a path on which you film if you don't want to trip. Good morning, cows. Oh, don't stand on what is technically the trail and then we don't have to chase you. How's that? Oh, sorry. He's giving me the stink eye there. Not a good suggestion, clearly. There's Lauderdale, nestling away in the valley. All we have to do now is go down a really steep, slippery, grassy path. Well, from last time, as we remember, it was quite slippy. And it's just been raining again, so no doubt it'll be slippy today. But at least this time around, we know. Having a bit of a Mexican standoff here with this little fella. He's waiting for us to disappear. We're waiting for him to disappear.
That's beautiful colour though.
Yeah. That's it. You disappear into the grass. Bye-bye. All of you. I can still see your tail. It's gone.
We was up last year here. There's a monument for COVID. Which, that's quick.
Aye, and we couldn't hear ourselves think because it was so windy.
Yeah.
And now it's almost wind still.
Oh, well. We're on top or something. We'll find out in a minute. And there's the monument. Did we get the right way around?
It's only 29 kilometres to the forest of Pennine.
What's that pinhole lit? It's in a pill. Pinhole. Pinhole.
I don't know. That's how I would pronounce it.
So we're going to work out where we go. I think we go down that way there.
Yeah.
Bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, because this is where we fell last time. That's why we went wrong, because Malham is actually in that direction. But the Pennine Way goes like that away.
To down.
And further to the left.
Yeah, and round and then back round. The beacon what?
These beacons are actually leftovers from the Napoleonic Wars. They were proper guarded. There were people actually making sure that they were, covered. Let's just have a little moan here. This gate, nicely newly done. Barbed wire everywhere. You cannot get through this with a backpack on, a biggish one. It's just not enough room, and you can't do the usual trick of climbing up until you're over. So we just have to go along that fence and dangle around the end of it and get into this ditch. I mean, I appreciate this is private property and people have obviously abused things in the past, but this is no good for hikers at the moment. Yep, this is still the day of ridiculous gates.
We've got the Hobbit gate.
I mean, why?
Or the elf.
Why have a gate in front of stairs and another gate Probably two different properties, that's why. And then no doubt it's a massive step down.
Oh, it's only for small people like you, Heidi. People like me with normal, big, long, muscly legs. It was fine. Okay, not so muscly then.
Just helped ourselves to some drinks at the tuck shop.
Yeah, they were nice actually.
And I now
Really cold.
have twinned up bottles.
Yeah, won't last for long.
Nothing ever does, darling, nothing ever does.
Oh, never does.
Made it to the canal, which is splendid with flowers at the moment. Very pretty. Loads of different wildflowers here.
There's a table and chairs there. It looked like a table and chair.
Nope, it's a sheep feeder. There we go. Approaching Gargrave.
Oh, there's the road.
Down there in the valley. Gonna have to resupply there. The original plan was to resupply for 2 days, because 2 days later we should be in Hawes. Then we realised that 2 days later is Sunday. So we now have to unfortunately resupply for about 4 days.
And we've sort of heard that Hawes campsite is a bit of a party campsite.
That's not Hawes.
Oh, is it?
No, that's Horton in Ribblesdale.
Yeah.
That's
There's
further
no
on.
camping in Hawes.
There is no camping in Hawes. No, this time round, however, we remember there is camping just outside of Hawes, and we will not taxi into Keld. These are long fields you cross after Gargrave. It's looking like we're going to end up at exactly the same spot we did last time. We're just doing a rerun of the previous attempt, basically. Hopefully minus the injuries. We were going to try and overshoot, but we remember the stretch after there to Malham being very, very tricky for wild camping in a larger tent like ours is, a two-person tent. So we'll see how we feel when we get to that river spot. If nobody's erected a "do not camp here" sign there, we're probably staying there. Yeah, we made it to, well, 10 steps further. Last time we were camped on the other side of these trees. Now we camped here. We'll have to check tomorrow on the way into Malham what wonderful spots we would have missed, but yeah, we didn't want to risk it. It's all very, if we remember right, it's all very estatey and private land. I mean, technically we're on somebody's land now. There's usually cows in the field over on the other side of the stream, and sometimes they're on this side, so yeah, it's all owned by somebody. But hey, we're set up for the night anyway.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Have a drink. He's not drinking Mars, by the way. That was just the cheapest bottles we could find, so we're now using them as drink bottles. So, what was your favourite bit about today?
Carrying a beer out and having it for lunch.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Bought a couple of beers last night, didn't drink them all. Yeah, so I had a lunchtime beer. That was my favourite bit. Obviously I didn't have a beer because I'm not...
I couldn't share.
I had a sip of the beer.
Yeah.
I think my favourite bit about today was actually being up by that beacon and being able to see for once and being able to enjoy the views and hear myself speak. And it's a lovely little spot up there. It was just nice that this time round the weather was on our side. And what was your least favourite bit about today?
Taking so long at the first part.
Oh God, yeah. It took us 2 hours to do in 1.5 miles. But let's be honest, that was down to you having twisted, was it this ankle?
Yeah, yeah, that ankle.
Well, slipped last night on the flagstones when they were wet and just did something to them. Yeah, we could not get out of first gear in the beginning, could we? Once we were going. We were going.
They were all up and downs, and a lot of the downs were really steep with just grass. So you were just sliding.
And my least favorite bit was, funnily enough, 30 seconds after being up at the beacon, coming down to that gate. I mean, it's just, honestly, I get it. Whoever owns the land behind it obviously wants to protect it. They're absolutely entitled to do so. I'm guessing they want to protect it from people riding their bikes up there, because they put barbed wire over everything, so you can't lift the bike over. They made sure the gate is so high you can't lift a bike over. It just unfortunately now means that if you come down there with a heavy backpack as a Pennine Way walker, you cannot get through that gate, because it's one of those kissing gate things where you you can't even take your backpack out and push it through, because in theory it needs somebody on the other side to pull it out before you can go through, and it's you can't get through. I really don't know how other people do it, apart from having smaller packs. And that dangling around on the outside of these fences was, yeah, I mean, especially with both of us having slightly dodgy ankles, it was just unpleasant, unnecessary, but necessary, it's fair enough, it's their land, they can do what they want, but I don't think they thought that one through completely. Day 5, and the rain got the better of us again. It started with Brian slipping on the flagstones in the campsite, and then it took us nearly 2 hours to get to here, Lauderdale. It's a very sort of in and outy, styly area, but yeah, it shouldn't take 2 hours when your legs are okay. But Brian was kind of really struggling with his ankle in the beginning and limping a bit. But on the climb out of Lauderdale and then up to Pinhole Beacon, he got better, thankfully. And from then on, it was pretty plain sailing. I mean, this is that gate I had a bit of a rant about. And yes, of course, we have since figured out that between the two of us, we could have gotten through that gate by taking all our packs off, one of us going ahead, the other person passing both packs through and then following. But I still don't know how a single hiker with a big pack is supposed to get through there. I mean, I'm sure people manage, but it's just unnecessarily unpleasant. There's probably a very good reason why they've done that, but on a national hiking trail, a long distance hiking trail, it just seems an odd choice. But hey, there you go. So we dropped into the valley, into Thornton in Craven. Craven? Yes, it is Craven. Sadly, that little goat sanctuary we filmed last time doesn't seem to exist anymore. There's still chickens, and obviously there's still the bench, but no more goats. So not sure what happened there, but that doesn't seem to exist anymore. And it's a fairly straightforward walk from here through a few more fields to the canal, following the canal, and then starting the climb up into the hill above Gargrave, and then dropping down into Gargrave, where we stopped briefly to resupply, but we didn't stop this time for anything else, and carried on straight back out to climb the other very long hill out of Gargrave. And despite not stopping, we once again sort of reached the end of our patience and energy at the exact same spot as last time. It was relatively early, to be fair, when we pulled up to make camp here. From then on, there isn't many places you can camp between there and Malham, and we would have been very late arriving in Malham on a weekend, so I don't think we would have gotten a spot in a campsite there. So we decided to stay where we were last time, basically.